So thank you, Sumi. Sumi was, we had put out a call in the Bulletin magazine for anyone to share their stories, and we'll continue to accept the stories and then highlight them in the Bulletin magazine. But I'd like to thank Sumi. She not only wrote me a letter, and she actually sent me a copy of her book, and then there was another about the Fraser Valley United Church. So yeah, anniversary, so there's all this different information. So I have my reading material set out for me. So thank you, Sumi, for coming and sharing your family's story. So important that we hear these stories. So one of the things is that with the Japanese-Canadian uprooting, it also meant that we were dispersed across the country. So our community is a little bit different. We don't have, as you can see, there were different communities that were built up in different areas, but it's a little bit different, say, than the Chinese Canadians who still have sort of the areas where they're still located. Our group's dispersed across the country, so one of the challenges sometimes is when, even this call, I'll give you an example, the call that the provincial government said that they were putting out a call for historic Japanese Canadian places. So it's not like we could just go to Powell Street and say, oh, everyone Japanese Canadian, there's this call. We have Japanese Canadians across the country. So we were trying to put out a community group formed with the Japanese Canadian Citizens Association, and we were very concerned that people wouldn't hear about this call. So we were putting it in the Bulletin magazine. We started a Facebook group, but that is one of the challenges. So that's the challenge I have when I say I'd like stories. I have to get the word out to everyone across the country. The other person that contacted, or actually I contacted him because I heard that he had a connection to Surrey, and that's Art Miki, who's the former president of the National Association of Japanese Canadians. And some of you, if you've seen any pictures of the redress in 1988, where there's a gentleman that's standing near the Prime Minister, that was Art Miki. He was instrumental, part of the leadership that campaigned and won redress for Japanese Canadians. Anyway, Art is in Winnipeg, so he sends his greetings to all of you, and sorry that he can't be with us. But the connection is his father was born here. And so one of the books that Christine mentioned and that we've used is the Who Was Who, Pioneer Japanese Families in Delta and Surrey by Michael Hoshiko. And that book's on the display table. You can take a look at it, and you can sign it out from the library. So lots of stories there. But anyway, his father's story is in there, but Art did say his father, Kazuo Miki, was born in 1906, born in the Tynehead area. There was a logging camp there. So this is still part of Surrey, logging camp. And he lived there with his family until his father decided to move to Steveston because he wanted to get into fishing. So Art shares that unfortunately his father died when he was still young. So his father's father, grandfather, died when his father was still young. So his grandmother had to raise 6 kids by herself. So he says, I marvel at the tenacity demonstrated by my grandmother, Miki, to survive the difficult years. So a little bit of history from Art Miki, and if you want to learn more, you can check out that book that we have, Who Was Who.